Hey everyone, today we will be making this beautiful oversized cardigan, which is great for cold weather. It is simple and quick to make because it uses chunky yarn. It has a nice belt that would help to keep the air off once you tie it up in the front, but it is also optional. It is a great project for someone who's getting into making their own garments. All right, let's talk about the materials we're gonna need to make our cardigan. You will need 5 different colors of weight number 5 yarn. I'll be using this one, 5 different colors. Each skein has 125 meters or 137. Okay, so weight number 5 yarn. You're gonna need a 6mm hook, 7mm hook, pair of scissors, yarn needle, some stitch markers, and a tape measure. Let's begin our tutorial. Use the number on the screen for your size. I am a size medium and I need 60 chains. I'm gonna start with a slip knot. I'm going to start with a foundation chain, single crochet. If you just want to do a normal one, use the number on the screen plus 1 for your turning chain. Okay, I have my 60 chains here. Okay, next we're gonna chain 1, turn our work. This entire pattern, like the body of the pattern, needs, like, you need to insert the hook on into the front loop. You insert the hook into the hook, the loop closest to you. If you are using one color, you are just going to do this until you have your desired length. But because I am using different colors, I am going to do this for 6 rows with this color and then move on to the next color. The fun part about this design is you get to decide on how wide you want your stripes to be, or how wide you want your color changes to be. I am done with 2 colors. Now I am going to add the 3rd color. So the first color was 6 rows, 1 2 3 4 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7, sorry, my bad. 7. And then these are 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. So I'm going to make 14 rows with this color as well. And join the new yarn. Chain 1 and turn your wick. I'm gonna bring along this just so I don't have to weave in the ends. We are still doing the same thing, single crochet in the front loop. So I'm going to have 14 rows and then add my 1, 2, 3, my 4th color, add another 14 rows. This is it. Nothing has changed. I just changed yarn color. It's no different. So I'm going to add 14 rows. Sorry about that. I'm going to make 14 rows and then add the other color, 14 rows. So I'll meet you guys after I've added 2 more, like this one and then another one, and then we will do the last color together for our back panel. Okay, I am done with the other color. So 14 rows is done using 1, 2 and 3, and then we are going to add the last one, which is this one. I'm just gonna pull up a loop with this new yarn. This is basically the same thing, guys. I just want us to just change colors together. Some people get confused on how to do it. So I'm going to chain 1, and do the same thing that I've been doing here. Single crochet in the front loop. And with this color, I am going to make 20 rows. Okay, so I will meet you at the end of my back panel once I'm done with 20 rows for my last color. Okay, I have done my 20 rows for my back panel. This is how it looks. Sorry I can't fit everything on your screen. Okay, so we are going to cut yarn and fasten off. All right, and now we are moving to our front panels. We are moving on to make our front panels. You are going to make 2. We are again starting with foundation single crochet. Start with a slip knot, chain 2, use the numbers on the parentheses for your size. I need 24 chains for mine. Oh, I keep yarning. I have my 24 chains here. We are moving on to row 2. I'm gonna chain 1 and turn the work. We are inserting the hook on the front loop. And make the single crochet. Remember, we have a V. This is the front loop and this is the back loop. We are doing the front loop only. This is just a rectangle, so if you are using one color, you are doing this until you reach your desired length. I am going to make 6 rows with this color and switch on to my second color. I have made progress on my front panel. This is my first color, my second color. Now we are going to do the third color together. It's basically the same thing we did on the back panel. So I've got 14 rows with this color. I'm gonna have 14 rows with the new color as well. And then I'm gonna turn my work. I'm gonna bring along this end so I don't have to weave in more ends at the end. All right, so we are going to follow the same pattern that we did in the back panel. I'm gonna add one more color after the main one. I'm working on this color. I'm gonna add this and then the last one here. We will meet somewhere in the middle on the very last color. Don't forget to make 2. All right, it's time to make our sleeves now. We are going to start with a slip knot. Use the numbers on your screen to guide you on your starting chains for different sizes. I'm going to chain 2. We are starting with a foundation single crochet. I need 45 of these for my medium-sized cardigan. I have my chains here, and we are moving on to the second row. Gonna chain 1 and 10. We are doing the same thing as we did in the front panels and the back panel, inserting the hook in the front loop. Done the first row, second row, sorry. We're gonna chain 1 and 10, and we're just gonna make a few stitches together one more time. Insert the hook in the front loop. Okay, and this is it. Use the numbers in the parentheses to guide you through how many rows you need for your sleeve, and we will meet up once I'm done my part. I'm done with the length of my sleeve. It's just a big rectangle. We are moving on to making a cuff or the wrist ribbing. We are switching to 6mm hook. Okay, and we are just continuing with what with the same yarn that we were using for the sleeve. We are going to chain 10. Okay, when we 10, I'm gonna make a slip stitch on the second chain from the hook. So I've got 9 chains. So this is the first one. Next, in the next 2 stitches, I'm going to make a slip stitch. Slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2, then we chain. We do not chain from here. Next, we are repeating the same thing. We make a slip stitch. Make sure you make your slip stitch is loose, so it's easier to insert the hook. We are inserting the hook in the back loop. This creates a really nice stretchy ribbing. And I like to insert the hook on both loops for the last stitch. It doesn't leave any gaps. Next we are chaining 1 and 10. Repeating, we're gonna insert the hook on both, make a slip stitch, and then move on to making a slip stitch in the back loop. And you are repeating this until you have reached your end of the sleeve. Next we are making slip stitches in the next 2 chain stitches, and slip stitch in the back loop again. Right, so repeat this until you get to the end of your sleeve and make 2 of them. Okay, let's work the last part of the ribbing together. We are only left with 1 stitch here, so we are just going to make a slip stitch and then cut the yarn and fasten off. And here is how our sleeve is or looks like. Because we are working with sleeves, we just to make it fun, you can make a sleeve on a different color as well, or you can keep just one color for both of your sleeves. We are going to add a belt loop on our back panel. I've already made one. The way you do it is you count from the top of your panel towards the waistline. So use the numbers on the screen to count your rows and then put a stitch marker. So for me, I got 38 from the top. And I'm going to put a stitch marker here. Okay, so use the yarn that matches where you land or where your stitch count is. I'm going to use 6mm hook. I'm going to turn it around like this. And I'm going to insert the hook on both loops and pull up a loop. Okay, chain 1. This is the first chain. Next we are going to chain 17 more. So we got 18 chains in total. We are going back to where we first inserted the hook. Put it through and pull up a loop, make a slip stitch. Do that again. Make a slip stitch. If you feel like this is too big or too narrow, add more chains, but this is stretchy, so I'm not worried that once I put my belt through, there will be any issues. Next, I'm going to cut the yarn and then pull through just to secure my belt loop with the 2 loops that I started with. I'm just going to make a double knot here. Okay, and later I'm just gonna weave in through so it's nice and secure. It's time to seam our pieces together. I've put the front panels on top of the black panels, line them up. So I left a long tail here. I'm going to start down here and then go all the way and then move on to the other side. Okay, I'm putting yarn through the eye needle and I'm using my favorite method of seaming pieces together. Okay, so we're gonna do both panels, so we'll meet after we are done our panels. It's time to seam our sleeve to the panels. I counted my stitches and put a stitch marker right in the middle and then pinned the sleeve to the center of the seam for the front and the back so that we have equal number of stitches on each side. I've already put yarn into my yarn needle. We just have to start. We'll just start on this side. I'm gonna just do a double knot to secure the beginning of my stitch. I'm going to use the same stitch that I used for the panels. So evenly distribute your stitches on the panels which is adjacent to your sleeve, and do both sides of the panel. So I'll meet when I am done both of my sleeves. It's now time to seam the sleeve together and then the sides of the cardigan. It's a really big project, so it won't fit on my table here. I'm using the same method that I used for the other panels. So go ahead and do and seam on your end both sides. So you're gonna go this way and then match your colors. Use the same color. Just join the yarn and use the same color until you get to the bottom of your cardigan. Do both sides and we will meet up to finish up. We are moving on to the front ribbing of the cardigan. I have turned my cardigan inside out, so this is the front loop. Now I'm going to use this color to do our front ribbing. So it's gonna go around like that. So you can choose whichever color you want between all the colors that you have for your cardigan. I'm going to insert my hook. Oh, I'm using 7mm hook. I'm going to insert my hook right at the bottom and then pull up a loop. And then I'm going to yarn over. Okay, and then on the same space I'm going to make a double crochet stitch. I'm going to make this on each edge of the stitch because single crochet is a short stitch. It makes it simple to just go around and make a stitch adjacent to the one on the panels. So do this, go around your cardigan. We will meet at the other side of the panel. I am done with the first row. So we are going to make half double crochet in the third loop. I can turn the work and do it this way. I just don't like the way my ridges look if I do that. So I am going to cut my yarn and then fasten off. Okay, and then go back to the beginning to attach my yarn. Okay, I'm going to insert the hook on the first stitch and pull up a loop. Oops. And chain one. With the first stitch, I'm just gonna make the stitch like a normal half double crochet, and then we are moving on to the third loop. This is the first loop, this is the second loop. We are inserting the hook in this one, the one right at the back. Okay, we are making half double crochet. And we are doing this throughout. We're inserting the hook in the third loop. Once more. This is the front loop, the one in the middle, and we are inserting the hook in the back loop, or the third loop. So it's 1, 2, and 3. So do this, go around, cut the yarn, and come attach it again, and you are going to repeat this twice. So you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 of this ribbing. Or if you want a wider one, you can add more, but I'm just gonna make 4 rows of this. Okay, then we will meet up when you are done. All right, let's finish up our front ribbing. With the last one, I'm inserting the hook on both loops, and then I'm gonna cut the yarn and fasten off. There you have it. We have our 4 ribbing. So we're just gonna weave in the ends, and then we move on to the belt. It is time to work on our belt, and we are going to use 6mm hook to make it. We are going to start with a slip knot, and then you chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then make a single crochet on the second hook and on each stitch. Next, you're gonna chain 1 and turn your work. You are going to make a normal single crochet on the first stitch, and then make single crochet in the front loop of the next 2. And then make a normal single crochet on the last stitch. Okay, chain 1 and 10. doing the same thing. So for the first and the last stitch, you make a normal single crochet stitch, and then in the middle two you make single crochet in the front loop. All right, so this is it. You are going to make your belt as long as you want. You can keep trying to see if it will make a good knot in front of your cardigan. I'll meet you guys after I am done mine. Okay, I am finished with my belt. It measures 60 inches and it is 62 rows. Okay, so we are going to make a nice stitch around the belt so it looks clean. I've already chained one here, so in the very same first stitch here I'm going to insert the hook. So this is going to make a corner, and then I'm going to insert the hook on both sides and make a slip stitch, and then insert the hook on the second row and make a slip stitch. I'm going to work along the edge of my belt with a slip stitch. Okay, so it gives it a nice clean look compared to the other side. So we're going to make a slip stitch all around, and then when you get to this corner you will make a slip stitch, chain one, and then move on to this one. It will make a nice corner. Okay, let's finish the last few stitches for our belt together. This is the last stitch. And this is the belt. Now all we need to do is to cut the yarn. And fasten off. And then we can weave in the ends together. also like to just put in the back stitches. And this is the other side, the beginning of the belt. And cut off the end. So this is our belt. We are done with our tutorial. I hope you had fun making this as much as I did. Please do not forget to share with me your finished cardigans. I would really love to see the color of your the colors that you chose. And if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so that you get notification for each video that is uploaded on the channel. I'll see you in the next tutorial.